Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the Duopoly Report. I'm Steve Cavietis, your host. Well, we're going to have to take a little journey right now. We're going to have to take a journey that I don't like taking, but it has to be done. We're going to go from our nice, beautiful Albuquerque skyline into the world of Ben Ray Lujan's email hell. Yes, that's right. I did a segment a while back called Fear Raising on Ben Ray Lujan's emails. And now it looks like I've got to do another segment because several things have occurred since my last segment. So one of my loyal followers has gave me a tip. They got an email from Ben Ray Lujan's campaign. And I'm by the way, I'm really grateful that this one of my loyal subscribers and watchers sent me in this information. This helps me do my work better, giving me leads to stories that may or may not be important for the Duopoly Report is huge. And you can do that by sending any information to duopolireport@gmail.com. And that's what this particular viewer sent me. And I've X'd out the names just for privacy's sake, because I want people to feel comfortable about bringing me whatever they like. So this was on June the 4th. On June the 4th, Ben Ray Lujan's campaign says, "My race was just named the most competitive open Senate race in the entire country. Republicans are deploying resources to flip this seat right now. We can't let that happen. I'm counting on your immediate $15 to keep this seat blue." I just received an emergency call and made my heart drop. I was told Rasmussen named my race the most competitive open seat in the entire country. So, Trump's campaign is rushing to deploy resources here. They're conducting major polls and even discussing sending a whole new team to New Mexico. So, and then he asks, okay, I know that holding the Senate won't be easy, but I know Republicans will come after me with an onslaught of cash. But I know that if the grassroots army rises up in full force to help me fend off these attacks, Republicans won't stand a chance of taking this seat from us. I need 1,000 gifts before midnight. Can I count on your $15? So, let me go over some of the statements that are said here. Okay, first of all, he talks about Rasmussen Reports, which is a polling agency, national polling agency, and he said that this was the most competitive open Senate seat race in the country. So I went to Wikipedia, which it maintains a running catalog of all the Senate seats that are up by state, and is also listing the PVI, which is a strength index that's created to say how Democratic or Republican a state is, and then it talks about what happened in the last election. And then the last three columns, Cook, IE, and Sabato. These are three: the Cook Political Report, Larry Sabato's Crystal Ball, and IE. I'm blanking on it right this second. I'll put in a caption below the institution that IE represents. And these three groups are organizations that pride themselves on putting out accurate information and prognostication about races. Of course, they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect in the world of punditry and prognostication. But these three tend to be well respected. And if you look here under New Mexico, New Mexico's listed as D+3. And the incumbent is Tom Udall is retiring. That's why it's an open seat, right? And then let's look at the reports. And we have Cook Political Report at likely D. IE says safe D, which means like Republicans shouldn't even bother. And Sabato has it as likely D. Likely D usually means that unless something really extraordinary happens, that party, either D or R, is going to win. I mean, there's an outside chance that in this case that the Democrats could lose, but it would probably take a series of unfortunate events for that to happen. So Ben Ray Lujan is saying that these three political prognostication folks are dead wrong. And now there is this tiny, and this is what we call spin in the world of political communication. Spin. All right. Is it a complete lie? No, it's not a complete lie. There are of the 33, I think, seats that are up this time. There are four open seats. Four. One of them is Tom Udall's seat, who's an incumbent Democrat. The other three are held by incumbent Republicans. Two of them, Lamar Alexander's seat in Tennessee, and the gentleman, I don't remember his name right now, from Wyoming. Those two seats are so safe, it's ridiculous. Okay, the third one is from North Carolina, and the stats on the North Carolina race, actually the Cook Political Report, i.e. in Sabato, are putting him either in lean R or also in the toss-up column. Or they're actually saying that there's more of a chance of a change in that seat than the others. So in that regard, there is conflict between what Ben Lujan is saying, between what Rasmussen is saying, and what these three political prognosticators say. And for my money, I'm going to take the average feeling of these three prognosticators. Sometimes I have some disagreement with them, but they tend to be on the right side. Here's the other thing I'm going to show you. If you look just above, Arizona, they're having a special election because there was a seat filled with Jeff Flake, who resigned, and then it was filled in. So Martha McSally has to rerun for that seat. And even though the PVI is at +5, all three groups are calling it a toss-up race. And why is that? Well, the fact is that Democrats are outperforming Republicans right now. And so as a result, even though you have these plus ratings for certain parties in a certain state, which is sort of like the average, that right now Democrats seem to be outperforming those things. So then if you go and if you look, Alabama are +14, usually a +14 to the Republicans, right? And here you have incumbent Doug Jones, who just won a special election 2 years ago and is having to rerun for his seat. So it's almost like an open seat. Technically it's not, but it's damn near. It's like 2/3 open seat, because he only was able to serve 2 out of 6, a normal 6 years of term of a U.S. senator. That doesn't give you as much time to build your power base and your roots and your fundraising war chest, etc. And yet, if you look at the prognostications, it's a toss-up. IE is actually giving it a lean towards the Republicans. That'll be a flip. And honestly, yeah, I mean, lean R is probably the likely thing here, unless they can run another miracle. And you know, it's setting itself up that crazy man Roy Moore is saying he's going to run again. Even the Republicans in Alabama are like, oh my God, please stop. So we'll see what comes out of that. But there's definitely two other races that are more competitive than Ben Ray Lujan's. So he's saying I'm the most competitive out of the only four completely open seats, and let's not use technicalities about Doug Jones or Martha McSally, and also, by the way, ignore that thing in North Carolina that these other three people are saying. So, okay, I'm right. I'm the most competitive open seat. Fear. Give me $15. Give me $15. Give me $15 like every other day as I send you an email for $15, and I'm gonna scare you some more. By the way, while we're at it, let's talk about Rasmussen reports, okay? 538.com. It's Nate Silver, who does a lot of statistics and polling himself. He has actually he rates the pollers. So he does statistical analysis on the outcomes of pollers' polls, and then how they come out in the wash, and he gives them like school rankings and things like that. So Rasmussen actually is up there in his rankings. Now it's kind of odd because it's like a mixed bag. He says, one, we feel like they skew their polls towards the Republicans about 1.5 points on average. So this is what you would call then a Republican pollster. They're Republican leaning, they're right leaning. They tend to then, there's ways of getting your surveys or your samples where you may overestimate certain votes or underestimate certain votes in creating your samples and your mix. And so Rasmussen's polls tend to always come out a little bit more favorable towards the Republicans than other polls do. He gives them, at the end of the day, he gives them a C+ rating. So this is a C+ outfit that does not do live calls with live people, calling other live people. So this is who Ben Ray Lujan is relying on. So he's relying on a Republican pollster to tell him what's going on. He trusts them more than neutral parties who are watching and analyzing. But of course, are we going to stop? No. On Saturday, June 8th, he emails, I received this one, the stakes just skyrocketed. First, Ben Ray's race was named the most competitive open seat in the country, which we all now know, in my opinion, is false. Then, Republicans responded by rushing resources to New Mexico to take this seat from us. Okay, I'll take his word on that. I haven't heard of any, giant movement of money or other things like that. If anyone has news stories to that effect, please send them to me at duopolireport.com, at duopolireport@gmail.com. Now, President Trump claims his polling numbers in New Mexico are rising. That's dangerous. This is a massive wake-up call. Point blank, if we don't win this Senate seat, Democrats will have zero chance of winning the Senate. Ben Ray needs 347 gifts before midnight to launch a response. Can you rush 15? So, now, is he not only spooked by a Republican polling firm? I guess he's hearing rumors about Republicans rushing resources to New Mexico. Now, the most credible source of all has given us the true thing. President Trump claims his polling numbers in New Mexico are rising, and that's dangerous. And so he's listening to who? He's taking the word of Donald Trump about hard data. Do you really can you believe that? That's right, Representative Lujan. Donald J. Trump, Mr. 45, Mr. President 45. Donald J. Trump, who has a lot of adjectives attached to his name, and not very many of them are complimentary. And this is who you trust. The man who not just a couple of days ago, like the day before you sent out that email, claimed that the moon is part of Mars, that our earthly moon is part of Mars. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's the guy who I want to take anecdotal evidence from and really trust. Glad to know, Representative Lujan, that you use this particular president as a credible source of your information. Really? Wow. All right, the next day, June 9. If Trump hits 35%, 38%, 40% of the Hispanic population, he'll win New Mexico, says New Mexico GOP. This is one of the most shocking things I have heard. President Trump says his polling numbers in our state are rising. A Trump win in New Mexico would not only spell a tragic end for my Senate race, it would crush our chances of defeating Mitch McConnell's Senate. Everything's on the line here, and I don't say that lightly. We need to go on the attack. Reverse the damage and keep New Mexico in Democratic hands at all costs. I'm launching an immediate response and need 153 more gifts to fund it. Can I count on your $15? So now we have the New Mexico GOP as a credible source for this Democratic campaign in terms of what's going on. Because we know that Steve Pierce, the chairman of the New Mexico GOP, he doesn't embellish stuff. He doesn't lie. He doesn't like toe a party line that basically, is a bunch of BS at times. And here's the key thing in reading a lot of these things. And this is what you need to pay close attention to when you hear candidates talking, when you see emails and letters from them, on the word choices they use, because a lot of times they're good at not lying. Although Ben Ray's email group is basically crossed that line on several occasions. But it starts with the quote, if Trump hits 35, 38, 40% of the Hispanic population. If. So that's not a certainty, that's an if. That's their dream scenario. That's what they're shooting for. That's what they want. But they can't say, look, polling shows right now that we've got 40% of the Hispanic vote. Here's the paperwork, here's the crosstabs, we've got it all outlined right here, blah, 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 blah. No, they can't say that. So the New Mexico GOP has to dream scenarios to motivate its people. If we get 35, 38, or 40. But no, Ben Ray then grabs that comment and uses it as if it's like gospel truth. It's one of the most shocking things I've ever read. Is it really? Like maybe the report on 9/11 isn't? I guess it's one of the most shocking things that I've ever read, right? So I guess it's right up there with the 9/11 towers going down and other such reports that you've been privy to. That's in the Mueller report. Like, so this is right up there with that. Is that what you're saying? I'm going to put that as a lie. I have to believe in your 10 years of being in Congress that you have read way more shocking reports than this. That this doesn't even hit the top 200. So this is a damn lie. And this is the kind of stuff you pull on all of us, Ben Ray. Mark Twain said that there are lies and damn lies and there's statistics. But after going through this again, I'd say, no, I'm going to have to paraphrase and say that there are lies, there are damn lies, and then there's Ben Ray Lujan's emails. Look, you need to tell that group that I have circled up there at the top, bluestatedigital.com, that they need a different tack. This is out of line. It's not okay. There's actual lies in several of these emails. And it has to stop. And this is my promise to you. If this tack of email doesn't stop, then I won't stop. Every week that you keep doing this, I'm going to have another report on the latest ridiculous things that your email string is happening. And I'm going to ask all of my loyal viewers out there that not only do you watch my video and smash that like button, right? Hit that thumbs up that's right there down below and subscribe to my channel, but also hit that share arrow underneath. And share it on Facebook, share it on your email, share it on Twitter, share it to everyone you know, and spread it amongst social media so that we can hopefully get this video and this information about what Ben Ray Lujan's campaign is doing to the people who need it most. And I'll tell you who those people are. And this is why I need your help, because they're not necessarily as social media savvy. These kinds of emails really are targeted at senior citizens, 65 plus, who only get their news from national TV news. They will never see any of this stuff on any of the news feeds that they get. So they're taking the information from these emails as gospel truth because this is news they haven't heard before. And it's also not something they're going to go and fact check as well. So they're preying on vulnerable people who won't know any better and trying to grab another $15, another $15, another $15 or more out of them. And that's not okay. Winning at all costs is not okay. You're not supposed to just win. You have to win ethically. And right now, you're on the wrong side of ethics, Ben Ray Lujan. And even if some other company is responsible for putting these things out, it's on your campaign's name. And at the end of the day, we only get to vote on who we want for U.S. Senate, not who we want for a digital email strategy service. So the choice is yours, Ben Ray Lujan. What are you going to do? I can't wait to see what happens next week when I get ready for my next report. I could either report that you're up to the same damn crap over and over again, or I could report that you're changing your tune. And thank you so much to my, to my subscribers and my fans for bringing me news items so that I can help report on this. This makes it more able and easier for me to get this information out. This has been the Duopoly Report. Thank you very much. Please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and go over to www.patreon.com/Duopoly Report so that you can sign on to be one of my monthly subscribers and help this project move forward. Have a good day.